Oh, we're gonna make a video about Cheez-Its. Ooh, we're gonna make a video about Cheez-Its. Cheez-It video incoming. We're gonna make a video about Cheez-Its. Dude, Cheez-Its. Dude. Alright, I know that was a bit silly, but I thought it was cute, so I kept it in. This is a very serious video. This is an informed lecture of Cheez-Its, the snack for the thinking man. I'm gonna lay some ground rules down. There's not gonna be any discussion of snapped, no discussion of grooves. This is true Cheez-It only. So disregard all your Cheez-It perversions. Alright, forget about them. They're gone and they're not gonna be discussed. And if you disagree with what I count as a true Cheez-It, well, make your own damn video. I had a lot of fun making this, and I hope you enjoy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Let's Play of
Tier Maker. This is the contemporary Cheez-It tier list. This is Cheez-Its for the working man. All the Cheez-Its you can find on their website. No store specific ones, and that was like a bit of a harder decision to make because some of the store specific ones are pretty good. No grooves or puffs or perversions of Cheez-It. So, in our rankings, we'll start from the bottom. Have not had. I think it's pretty obvious what that means. Inedible. Just a Cheez-It, you cannot even consume. A Cheez-It that you can't even have. And like, look, we've got how many? Does it say? How many? We got 21 Cheez-Its to go through. And you know, there are YouTubers who do like, I'm gonna try every fast food burger from every fast food place around me, and they get like 20 burgers and have like one bite, and they form an opinion like that. Now, this may be like not a great way of doing it, but I the only Cheez-Its I have near me are chili cheese dog. They're fine. They're all right. I'm not gonna go into depth on that, but like, you know, a guy who's like, I'm gonna get every flavor of Lay's, and they just like have like two or three of them, and it's like, man, it's just food waste, and I don't really want to spend the money and time to go peruse supermarkets for every Cheez-It variety I can find. So I'm just gonna go off of like what I know that I've had. I'm not eating 3 boxes of Cheez-Its at one time. That's ridiculous, right? Like they'd all go stale by the time you're done with one. So we're gonna go off of memory. If I've even had it, you may be surprised. So we've got have not had, inedible. You know, this is a Cheez-It that should not be for any consumption at all. It might as well you could use it to start a fire. Maybe. I don't know how well Cheez-Its burn. Miserable snack. This is a joyless Cheez-It. This is a Cheez-It that does not put something in your heart when you have it in any way. All right, this is this is Cheez-It out of necessity, if that makes sense. You know, like any port in a storm kind of thing. Not a first pick. That not necessarily bad, but like if I'm there and I see I have a menagerie of Cheez-It opportunities being offered to me. I'm not going first with this acceptable cracker. That's what they call me. That this is a little bit bumped up. All right, this is more like this is the kind of Cheez-It that if you go to a party, right? It's like a boring party, and they've got Cheez-Its as snacks. You're like, all right, you know, a little a bowl full of Cheez-Its, you know, for everybody's dirty hands to go into and have exchanges of. P good. The P stands for pretty. If you maybe I should have put a period there to imply that, but it says for a standard decent Cheez-It. You know, this is an all right Cheez-It. This can be a pick, like a first pick. depending on how you're feeling. A damn good treat. That's an excellent cheese it. All right, that is a cheese that you can a cheese that you think on, right? A ponderous cheese it. You know, it's a cheese it that evokes something, and it makes you appreciate something about it, about its affectation, and the affectation of the application of the confection that is the cheese it, and the cheese it of godhood. That is there was, I have it. Hold on, grabbing my phone. A cheese it of godhood is equivalent to a piece of writing that was written in the early 2000s for by Nigel Andrews um on his review for Spirited Away, which he gave a 6 out of 5. And Nigel Andrews said, "Yes, that's right, 6 stars. Exception must be made for the exceptional. Spirited Away is a feast of wonderment, a movie classic, and a joy that will enrich your existence until you too are spirited away. Rush now while life lasts. This is more than an animated feature. It is the sound of genius breaking free in a troubled world. As surely as Alice in Wonderland bursts the bonds and bounds of Victorian England, proving that little girls who talked to caterpillars were wiser than monarchs and ministers who made empires." That is this is a cheese it with no sense of hyperbole. The absolute sincerity is that if you do not take immediate action, if possible, to go out and enjoy this cheese it, you are at a loss, uh, completely. And I full heartedly believe that. And there are a few that will be on here. Maybe. Depends on what I'm thinking when I make the list. So we've gone over the tiers. Why don't we just start doing it? Okay. Down here, we got extra big cheese it. It's just bog standard cheese it. That's not that's there's no insult to that at all. The standard cheese it, you know, just a regular guy. He doesn't impose, all right? And you would think that if you're some kind of introductory enjoyer of the Cheez It who doesn't understand things on a more profound level, then something that you would be so derivative as to write off the classic Cheez It. You would have a mental failing if you were to assume that the regular Cheez It is not a terrific Cheez It. And the Cheez It Big has some complications with it. One, it's big. That works in its favor sometimes. All right. So if you are looking to do so, I know I've seen I've seen the TikToks where people make disgusting food items. I am sent them regularly, and Cheez-Its are often an ingredient. I could see application of a big Cheez-It. Put that on like a casserole, and you've got something there. But I'm gonna say, it's a big Cheez-It, and I think the big harkens on it. It does not work completely in the favor of the Cheez-It, and that's just an honest statement there, because the thing is, like, the Cheez-It. I hope that picked up on the microphone. That has been going on for the past 2 months. Uh, the big Cheez It, right? When you're eating a Cheez It, and this is applicable for like many crackers, wheat thins included, but I'm not going to spend too much time speaking of other snacks because that would be disingenuous to the thought process of this gathering of thought, right? So when you're eating a Cheez It or wheat thin, or there are many crackers like this, yeah, saltines kind of. So you kind of want to get like this slurry of concrete in your mouth, if that's what you're searching for in a cheese. And now I honestly, depending on the cheese that I'm eating, that can go several. If it's a cheese it with like flavor dusting, I only want like two or three of those in my mouth at once. If it's a cheese it without flavor dusting, I'm putting a fist's worth of cheese it in my mouth. And the cheese it big, you know the area space does not work to its strength. So what I'm really saying is that you can't put as many of these in your mouth and make a disgusting slurry, which puts the Cheez It Big in not a first pick. Now on to our next one. This next one may be a bit divisive. There may be controversy among my thought process of the white cheddar Cheez It. If you are a beginner enjoyer of Cheez It, right? If you know, pull up image of In the Court of the Mustard King. If you are if you're a guy who's just like begun to enjoy Cheez Its, then you're gonna think white cheddar is an S tier Cheez It. When you couldn't be more wrong. In all honesty, it shows. I a casual snacker. I'm a real eater. I'm a big guy. There are many dudes out there on the internet who will just like eat food in front of you, and then they'll have like an A&W beer that they got at the gas station, and be like, okay, I'm gonna drink it, and then they drink it, and they're like, it's good, all right. But I've got a little bit more of a thought process here than that. Not to you know punch. I guess it would be punching up because those guys are doing better than me. But the white cheddar cheese it is a plebeian cheese it. It is a pseudo intellectual cheese it. You when you it's like when you dip your toes into science, you will come to believe there is no God. But when you drink from the entire chalice of science, you realize God is everywhere. Um, that's applicable to the white cheddar cheese it. Um, that's not to say it's like really a bad cheese it. Um, but like when you are someone of my expertise, you can understand that the white cheddar cheese it can very quickly become a miserable snack. Now that I'm will not be surprised if there is some divisive thought on that. But you know, it's hard being the smartest man on the internet. Now let's go here. This one is another interesting one. Hot and spicy. If you're like aforementioned a cheese pleb, and you think that white cheddar is the end all be all of Cheez It, you would look at hot and spicy and not think much of it. You would underestimate it, right? You would think this is just a cheese that is got like some pepper jack thing to it. You could not be more wrong, my friend. You could, yeah, and frankly, you insult me. The hot and spicy cheese it is one with a flavor coating. Let's go back. White cheddar flavor coating, big no flavor coating, but hot and spicy it has a flavor coating. Now that might shock a few of you, right? So we're gonna continue upon that thought process, but when you might go into the hot and spicy thinking that you're just like I kind of want a spicy chip, and I'm like that all the time, is that I will enjoy a hot chip and lie, among other things. But when I had the hot and spicy, it was the catalyst of what made me want to try as many Cheez It flavors as I could to make a stupid video about Cheez It flavors. A hot and spicy, in all sincerity, is a truly excellent Cheez It flavor. It is on this entire out of all these, right? How many are 21? So there are 19 remaining. Out of these 19, it is one of the best. And I'm gonna go all the way to take hot and spicy and put it in a damn good treat. All right, so once again, I'd like not once again. I guess I hadn't stated this yet. Is that I'd like to say subjectivity is implied, and the experience I have with Cheez-Its may not correlate with your experience with Cheez-Its. However, I am fat, and there's probably like a lot of mouth breathing going on while I'm recording this, so that's like even more evidence of that. That actually winded me. I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm really showing my fat, but I'm a real eater. Okay, I know what's up. All right, so let's move The hot and spicy. I can't. I don't, because you can comprehend what a cheese big is, right? It's like it's right there. If you've ever had a cheese, you're gonna be like, oh, it's just a bigger cheese, and you're right, and that's like, not to be like derivative, but that's exactly what it is, and it has certain applications which I can respect and admire, but besides that, it's just a big cheese. It white cheddar. You can guess, right? It's got a coating on it. It's gonna taste like white cheddar, Um, maybe a little more complex flavor profile than the regular original Cheez-It, but does that mean it's necessarily good? The thing about the hot and spicy is, I guess I don't want to. I don't know. Is it ineffable? Is it profound? It may just be. So, if you have the opportunity, hot and spicy threatens to be a Cheez-It of godhood, but that's really reserved. And by the end of this, I might change my opinion, but it's teetering into a Cheez-It of godhood. It is a truly excellent Cheez-It. All right, so next we have Italian four cheese, dude. I wish I had made a part of the tier that just said like boring as shit. The the Italian four cheese, right? It seems like it offers something more. It leads you on. It's a liar. The Italian four cheese is a liar, right? It is a viper, and you end up buying the Italian four cheese, and you go to peruse, and then you realize that I can't even remember what the cheeses are, but they're all boring, is what I'm saying. Is they're not interesting. And like I know I had purchased a box of the Italian four cheese, and I had barely touched it by the time I threw it away. I just was not, nothing about it. I found especially interesting. Um, so I would just put it, if I can. Oh, we're getting some mistakes here. We're gonna put it in miserable snack. We're gonna put it in miserable snack because food is art, and I don't want to get into the semantics of what makes something art. I know some individuals who believe sincerely and wholeheartedly that food isn't art, and I will have this argument with them every few months. But food is art to me. Subjectivity is implied. But the thing is, there's nothing evocative about the Italian four cheese. It's like it 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 makes you think, and there's something interesting there about how plain something can be that seems interesting. But I'm not going to elaborate on that further. I'm not going to entertain the four cheese much longer. I don't remember anything about it. Completely forgetful. I knew there was a terrible ratio proportion for each of the three cheeses, or they all just taste so similar that you don't get anything very distinct. Anyways, not a cheese that worth your time, I would say. Oh, the pepper jack cheese is not does not have a coating. I should add that. I don't remember if the four cheese one does or not. I think if we just look at that image, we can tell it does, but whatever. Who cares? The pepper jack does not have a coating. It is your standard cheese it, but with pepper jack cheese instead. And personally, not the biggest fan of pepper jack unless it's on like a proper sandwich for it. But it's inoffensive, and I feel like if I wanted to have something a little more like on the wild side, right? If I wanted to get a little bit extravagant, I would have the pepper jack cheese it over the original. So we're gonna put that in not a first pick. Um, pretty inoffensive, not spicy, not a lot of flavor to it, but maybe it's just something good if you like want something a bit plain, with like a little hint of spiciness. Go ahead. Why not? And next we're gonna look at cheddar jack. This may shock you, but I don't think I've had cheddar jack. And if I did, it's kind of like four cheese where I don't remember it. I feel like I might have. I feel like I might have, and I just don't remember it. But that's just all I'm gonna assume that my lack of ability to recall anything of it. I mean, I had definitely seen it in stores, but I just hadn't given it a shot. Um, and had picked more interesting Cheez-Its over it, like our beloved hot and spicy. So I'm just gonna say I didn't have it. I haven't had it. So does that like immediately override my credibility as the internet's number one Cheez-It connoisseur? It just might. It just might. All right, we're getting into some big hitters here. Like up and coming, some seriously big hitters. Uh, Snack Mix Original. My entire life, I grew up where the predominant snack mix in my house was the Cheez It snack mix. And in that time, when I was younger, I did not know how to appreciate a snack mix properly. Not even Chex Mix, nothing like that. I was disillusioned, right? But as time grew on, and I developed, and I learned, and I changed, I could appreciate more. The Cheez It snack mix, by no hyperbole, is the greatest snack mix on the market. It has all the essentials, but included is the Cheez It, which I believe may have been the missing link all along. And just for that, this might seem crazy, but, well, if you're a guy doing it like this, you gotta get a little crazy. The Cheez It Snack Mix is a Cheez It of Godhood. Let's continue. Duos. I had a hard time deciding whether I wanted to have the duos in or not because I also believe them to be a perversion of Cheez It. But I guess, if Italian four cheese can be here and it has four cheeses apparently, despite only having three, is it all like they're all? Is that it? That they're the Cheez It is every cheese put in the one cracker. That's awful. But whatever. Duos, right? Yeah, I like this. I like this. Whatever. Sharp cheddar and Parmesan. Now this kind of teeters where white cheddar sits, right? Except I actually kind of like it, but it's definitely not a favorite. When you have these two flavors that kind of like juxtapose well, they're not really an affront to each other, so they are welcome. And both of them are dusted, so you're gonna want to be washing your hands as you're eating these. Eat a Cheez It, wash your hands. Eat a Cheez It, wash your hands. Everybody knows that. It's written on the box. But the Cheez It duos, sharp cheddar and Parmesan, is also not a first pick. Um, Snack mix double cheese. I have not had. I don't think I've ever seen it in the store. Um, if you could believe it. Uh, Extra toasty cheddar jack. We'll just skip through. Like I haven't had this one either. I hadn't had the original cheddar jack, but extra toasty. Now extra toasty. There are people who like won't consume something if it's burnt. And I get that too. If something is burnt to the point that like the predominant flavor you're getting is the burn, like I get that. But like sometimes I like my bread a little dark. Put some butter on it, right? That can definitely be applicable with Cheez Its. The toasty Cheez It, by no means a first pick, but by no means a bad Cheez It. It serves a purpose really well, and it really gives way to something you would want. Let's get a little like a Martha Stewart up in here. The extra toasty Cheez It is something you should have like during summer. No, spring no, but fall and winter, absolutely. And you know what? Just for that, for what the extra toasty cheese it can provide in those months. Now you have half a year where you like shouldn't be eating this because I mean, it depends on where you live because sometimes it snows in April. Um, but we should bring extra toasty up here to acceptable cracker. I enjoy extra toasty quite a bit. All right, extra crunchy bold cheddar. Never had that. I don't even remember putting this on here. Smoked Gouda. Smoked Gouda kind of sits where hmm smoke. I think like smoked Gouda was the one that kind of like spiraled all of this. I think there was one of them like hot and spicy. Smoked Gouda was like, okay, well, Cheez-It has more to offer than I realize. Uh, hot and spicy was like, okay, I need to start talking about Cheez-Its, right? Um, but we're gonna say smoked Gouda is awful. Actually, it's inedible. I bait and switch. I'm gonna go here next. Smoked cheddar. You know, that's another one I haven't had. If you could believe it, we have a lot more. Yeah, it's 5 of 19. That's a quarter I haven't had. Pesto and mozzarella. That's another one I haven't had, but I would really like to try it. That's that very evocative to me. Bacon and cheddar. Oh my god, dude. Let me tell you about bacon and cheddar. It'll make you sick. It goes in inedible. It is it's terrible, man. It's just like you can do like chicken and a biscuit, right? That's another cracker. That's on my mind. I have some at the moment actually, and it's delightful. I have some off-brand chicken and a biscuit because it's all the same. It's just a crack. It's a thicker, better saltine with chicken bouillon on it, chicken bouillon powder on it. When you try to do like a red meat bouillon on anything except for like a bowl shot is disgusting. It's horrible, and it's an affront to the good name of Cheez-It. Jalapeno and cheddar jack. So, um, shit, that's making me think. I've had this like I think I just had this where I was living, and like somebody else ate it and I didn't, but like I remember seeing it distinctly. I don't know, like I'm showing even more credibility, less credibility, because now I'm up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I will let you all know. I have had the rest of these. Okay. The next up is Buffalo Wing Cheez It. Buffalo Wing Cheez It is Buffalo Wing Cheez It. I can't even get the word. It is you are 15 years old again, and you have had these blistering and massive feelings for someone, and you just engage in what you'll believe is something that'll last forever, but it's also some of the most fun you've ever had, and all the uncertainty and everything like that is there. But when you connect with them and you tell them how you feel, and they meet you there, and you are loved and held in that way that you have craved without even understanding what it really is, because you are a dumb teenager. It's Buffalo Wing Cheez It. Just as much as Buffalo Wing Cheez It is the first time you have ever been loved. Buffalo Wing Cheez It is the feeling of love for the rest of your life. A deeply profound Cheez It. An excellent Cheez It. They're dusted. They're shocking. Now, hot and spicy is good, but Buffalo Wing Cheez It, you would have to see it. You would have to try it. You would have to believe it. If you are someone who failed out and never experienced young love, please don't despair, because at the moment your store, your supermarket is likely selling buffalo wing Cheez-Its. I think we have three left. Ultimate snack mix. Ultimate snack mix. Just like go crazy with it. Now, one of the problems I have with Ultimate snack mix is it's another perversion of Cheez-It, but I included it here because it's really good. It's like I like for the lack of poetry, it's just a good snack mix. It's not like the original. It's got ridges. It's got chips. It's damn good. and it's gonna go up there. We're gonna set it with these guys for a second. They're gonna think they're going somewhere. No, it's P good. Yeah, P good. I wouldn't put up the damn good treat because I really don't like the ridges or the chips. But like by itself, if you're not thinking Cheez-It and you're thinking snack mix, it's a damn good original. I've said all I needed to say about original. I've made every everything poetic I could say about original, right? It's unassuming and it doesn't impose, but it is ever present. And I sincerely believe that the original Cheez-It was here before us. It will be here with us, and it will be here after us. Okay? So, if you've never had a Cheez-It, what I say, get the original, yes. You can it's not like a mistake. And even then it's if you've had I mean, how many let's count how many of these I know I've had. 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 just on this list, right? Original, start there. Um if you're like scared to like I say, drink from the goblet of Cheez-It. I would say start with snack mix, but we will get to that when we're finished the list. Extra cheesy. I had this a few months ago, and it didn't really blow my mind. I'm gonna put it in miserable snack. So let's look at what we have. We have way too many and have not had. This list could be updated. We've got cheddar jack. Yeah, these. I mean, what can I say? I haven't had them, so like I don't know. Inedible. Smoked Gouda, gross. Bacon and cheddar, gross. Don't try to. I don't know, because like I am old enough to remember when the entire internet was epic baconing, and I think it's something that needs to be shot in the head, frankly. And I don't think there's anything crazy about that statement. Um, it's terrible. It has is it a harmful idea? No, it's not a failure on that part where it has good intentions, but is it necessarily good? Absolutely not. A white cheddar miserable snack. Is it because I've had too many white cheddars over my lifetime, or is it because I am tapping my head? An enlightened Cheez-It connoisseur. The Cheez-It for the modern man. Italian four cheese. It just fails at what it's trying to do. Extra cheesy. I don't. It's like if you want a pumped up, like I don't know. Is it that bad to say? I don't acceptable cracker. Whatever. Yeah, that change can be made. We're not out of the game yet. Not a first pick. Cheese a big C original, right? Pepper jack. If you want to get a little wacky with it. Uh, uh, sharp cheddar and parmesan. It's fine. They're all fine. They're all fine, and it's like if you want to just like venture out and try a cheese that you haven't had, these are all good options. Except for like extra big. Extra big is just like good by itself because it's just a standard cheese it, but it is just larger. So like I don't know. For some people that would be a absolute plus. For me, it's kind of a negative. Acceptable cracker, extra toasty. Yeah, why not? Have that in like some tomato soup. Right when it starts to get like chilly during the day, not at night. During the day, when you're pulling out a light jacket or maybe like a hoodie, and maybe even on a colder day, right? Get some extra toasty cheese. Let's make a grilled cheese. Maybe put the extra toasty in there. Who knows, man? The world is your oyster. You can do anything you want to these cheeses. And then an extra cheesy classic. And it's like what if you wanted more of a cheese it, but like the subtlety of the original cheese it is really what amplifies it. P good ultimate snack mix again kind of got bumped down. A good variety of cheeses, but like the ridges and the chips I think are gross. Damn good treat, hot and spicy. It tempts me to put hot and spicy in a cheese at a godhood, but we already have buffaloing in there. I don't think they can stand on the same pantheon. That's just me. Original, a damn good treat. Is it something that will change everything? Because the original is great, right? But with snack mix and buffalo wing, the person you are And this can, if you take things so literally and have no creativity, or you're just like a lame person to be around, you can change the statement and make it applicable to everything. But most people understand what I mean when you say you're not the same person after experiencing such thing. And I can say that absolutely about snack mix and buffalo wing. Wholeheartedly. Trust me, bro. If you were to go out, you know, I'm gonna save that. Put a pin in that. Original Cheez-It. If you've never had one, it'll probably rock your world. I should do one of these on goldfish. But anyways, Cheez-Its of Godhood. Snack mix. Look, do you want to make everybody like you? All right, you're having a party. Okay, what do you provide? You got like your beers, whatever you. I don't know. You've got your Jenga tower out, and you want to make a really good impression, right? Maybe there's like a girl or a boy or a person you like, right? The only way you're gonna have anything succeed in this scenario is if your snack mix is the Cheez-It snack mix. Now you can think, oh, but I like Chex Mix. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, you sound like an idiot. And I mean that seriously. Is Chex Mix good? Not even compared to the snack mix, the Cheez-It snack mix. Chex Mix by itself? No, I don't no. I have like when you start eating steak and caviar, are you going back? You're gonna go back to having Hungry Man's? You're gonna go back to unless like your economic situation forces you to go back to having Maruchan after you have like some of that good ramen, that Shin Black beef broth. Are you gonna go get a thing of of beef Maruchan? No, because you're gonna use the noodles to you're gonna make something with the noodles, but you're not gonna use the flavor packet. What are you, crazy? If you are self-respecting, you have the Cheez-It snack mix. All right, you don't try to you don't use any alternative, man. I don't care what's really good. It pains me to say this. The Ut snack mix is great. You know, it's an excellent snack mix. It's not beating the Cheez-It snack mix. The only thing that makes the Ut snack mix like win out is that it's much larger. Much larger container. And when you seal it, like that stuff's not gonna go stale. The snack mix, you leave it unattended, it's gonna go stale pretty quick. It's a shelf item, right? But like the Utz will last you quite a bit. But if they made the Cheez-It snack mix in the Utz container, I wouldn't see that little girl ever again. They would put up missing posters. Where is she? Doesn't she have a little dog? No, that's a salt person. Uh, she looks like with that character from that cartoon that all the kids like. I'm gonna put up an image of both of them next to each other. Last of all, we have Buffalo Wing. Now, you might be questioning, right? Because how hot is hot and spicy? I can say that I'm not a good judge for that because I eat spicy stuff really frequently and have a bit of an iron stomach. But I didn't find the hot and spicy too bad at all. I found it very yummy, for lack of poetry. But the buffalo wing, if you just want a snack that kind of does everything savory, savory, umami, all that, it's the buffalo wing cheese it. All right, you're gonna have the buffalo wing cheese, and you're gonna grow wings, and you're gonna fly back to Walmart and buy another box. They pay me to do their advertising. The buffalo wing cheese it really like it wins out. Cheez It's a godhood, damn good treat. Pea good, acceptable cracker, not a first pick, miserable snack, inedible, have not had. If you the viewer have some opinions to make on any of my Cheez It opinions, then I don't so sorry. Okay. Um all right. That's it from me.